Prominent US Senator Lindsey Graham likely died from an aortic dissection, according to preliminary medical findings. Americans across the political divide have been paying tribute to the Republican after news of his sudden death was announced late yesterday.
I humbly ask for your support and your vote.
The outspoken South Carolina senator and former Air Force lawyer served in Congress for more than 3 decades. Graham frequently travelled the globe and pushed for aggressive US foreign policy. A staunch supporter of Ukraine and Israel, he spent much of the last 3 years pushing for unconditional support for Israel's war effort in Gaza and Iran.
The demise of this regime is at hand, and the goal is to make sure they can never be a threat like they were before.
He was a wonderful, wonderful friend, a great American patriot, and a great champion of the Israel-American alliance, and I'll miss him personally a lot. I really thought the world of him, and I think the world has lost a great human being.
And a friend of mine for a long time. We don't always agree, but that's okay too. But he's a great guy, a great politician, actually, and a terrific person who loves the estate, Senator Lindsey Graham. Thank you, Lindsey. Thank you.
Like many of his colleagues, Graham was initially a strong opponent of Donald Trump, previously calling him unfit for office, before transforming into one of the president's most loyal supporters. He broke ranks with Mr Trump after the Capitol riots on January 6, 2021, before pivoting again after Trump's re-election.
I just can't believe it. He was like a member of the family to me. It's very tough, actually.
Those of us in the Senate, as well as around the world, understood how close he was to the president. Many of us considered him the Trump whisperer. If we wanted to know what the president's thinking was or how we might be moved on something, you would go to Lindsey to discuss it.
Flags across the US are flying at half-mast in honour of the late senator, who turned 71 just 2 days ago. America's editor John Lyons has more from Washington.
Well, Gemma, Americans are shocked by this news. He was in good health, it seemed, until this heart incident or this heart condition came across last night. He had just returned from Ukraine, where he'd been on a trip there, and in fact had spoken to the president only a couple of hours beforehand. He was a towering figure here. He had a very sort of folksy South Carolina manner, but he played his politics hard, like when he went up against Donald Trump in the 2015, before, as the Republicans were looking for their nomination for president. He then described Donald Trump as, quote, the most flawed nominee in the history of the Republican Party. And at one point he said Donald Trump should go to hell after Donald Trump proposed a ban on Muslims coming to the United States. They fell out then, and they've fallen out a couple of times over the years, but both men were pragmatists, and Lindsey Graham was certainly a pragmatist, and he had this sort of rare ability that a lot of politicians don't have, and President Trump has pointed this out in recent hours in his tributes, that he managed to get on with people even when he was in political combat with them, even when he was fighting with them. And so he has been a major influence on American foreign policy, on Iran, on Ukraine, on Israel. And he was, apart from being the Trump whisperer, he was seen as the Senate whisperer as well. He was the pivot between the White House and the Senate. Now, the Senate here and the House, the Congress, can be very complicated for a president, and they can often thwart the power of the president. We saw that in the first term of Donald Trump, when many things he just couldn't get done. Second term, this time he's much more ruthless, and a lot of that's had to do with the fact that he was always on the phone to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham would read him the room, read him the temperature of the Congress, of the Senate, of the House, then go to the White House, and he would sort of broker a lot of deals. And in fact, hours before he died, he'd just returned from Ukraine, where he was looking to build a new case to put through the Congress for tougher sanctions on Russia. And so this was a major influence, and Donald Trump's lost one of his key advisors.